we perceive this to be a simulation controlled by an AI, a bigger AI. And that bigger AI is trying to create a smaller AI to control the avatars in this game.
Like the minions of
Yeah.
the AI minions of the big
Yeah.
AI, which is the god. I'd be thinking that'd be the god.
Program.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also combining that with what we said about the Greys seeing the future timeline of nothing. Is that when the end game happens? In today's episode, we're exploring the topic of Star Trek 1 motion picture and the realization of what that movie actually meant to us.
Yeah, very, very interesting show.
Yeah.
And everyone, welcome back. Welcome back, everyone, to another fantastic episode, show,
Review.
It's all going to be happening today. And stay tuned for some interesting conversations with myself, Jayson, and the lovely Allison. All fresh and all happy and ready to rock and roll.
So I'm going to hand it over to Jayson because he wants to build up the suspense.
Yeah, something like that. So it's our Saturday night movie night with our takeout. It's always very exciting because it's always a massive week for us. And we really only get a chance to sit and just be totally relaxed for like 2 hours a week, really. Yeah, we have another room we set up with a big screen and our favourite foods and just like trying to find a movie. It's all just a chill 2 hours for the 7 days. Unfortunately for Allison, she's back on keto, everyone. So she's back on for Saturday night salad. It's a big salad. It's a massive salad, but it's a salad. And I thought, and I do feel bad. I was like, no, I've got to do it for both of us. So I had McDonald's.
Yeah.
And I just want to say a big shout out to Simon, the head chef at the bakery I work at. He loves his food too, and a shout out to him and KFC because he loves his KFC. We always talk about KFC. So, g'day, mate. See you Monday. And with the movie hunt, we spent like an hour trying to find something. It was like everything's on buy now, $40, $50 to buy a movie or rent it to $40. It's just getting ridiculous on YouTube movies. So then Allison's like, oh, Star Trek 1. I'm thinking, wow, that's old.
Jayson's not so much of a big fan of old movies.
Yeah, I like the current new releases.
Yeah, but I love Star Trek.
So we thought, oh, okay, we'll watch it. And I felt like we had a little bit of guidance or a little bit of something in the background nudging us to watch that. It's like, okay, because it was 1979 it was released approximately, pretty old. But we had it on HD, so it was looked pretty good on the TV screen.
Yeah.
And it was actually a really good movie, and we didn't realise what we perceived the meaning or the meanings of this movie compared to back then compared to now.
Yeah.
With what's playing out. I'm not going to do a spoiler alert just yet with what we picked up from it, but if you want to read the synopsis.
Yeah, I'll read the synopsis. The Federation calls on Admiral James T. Kirk and the crew of the Starship Enterprise to contain an immense nimbus object that's on a crash course with Earth. After investigating, the crew discovers that the alien cloud harbors artificial intelligence with an ominous primary objective. Crisis strikes when a probe dispatched by the energy cloud attacks the crew, abducting Lieutenant Ilea. An android lookalike containing her memories shows up soon after.
So we're thinking, okay, this is all about AI, artificial intelligence. And then what happened? The room went ice cold for pretty much nearly the whole, because it was like a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, it's a pretty long movie. I remember when we started watching it, I just I don't know if it was more of a smack in the face of energy, but it was almost like my eyes opened up and I could feel like energy around. And as soon as that happened, I knew something was up.
Yeah.
I knew something had to be connected to this movie.
Yeah, it was very interesting, and I didn't expect what played out in the movie. I'm thinking that people need to watch the movie, or they might remember well, they might not, but for those who were around when it first came out, they may remember it. But it's a really interesting topic to talk about because of all the AI super intelligence, which is playing out really rapidly now in 2023. The amount of progress that AI is making and implementing itself through everything, it's like it's happening in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, it really is.
And this artificial intelligence on Star Trek 1 was highly intelligent and collecting data, because it was actually created originally from the Star Trek government, or...
Well, so this would be the spoiler alert that we were trying to avoid. But the basis of the movie is that this cloud had actually been created by NASA 300 years
NASA.
prior to the Federation being created. It was actually a probe from NASA that they sent out, and it got lost in space. And then it just somehow managed to be aided by another planet that happened to be a machine planet, and then they sent it back on its way back for its primary directive, which was to connect to its creator.
And who was the creator?
Well, if it was created by NASA, then humans would be the creator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this artificial intelligence was pretty much wanting to go back and reconnect with its creator, which was the human being, or humans that created it.
But it didn't realize that because being, I guess, evolved or upgraded on the machine planet, it thought that humans were the disease. And that its creator was not human.
Yeah.
Because when it came across the starship, they thought the humans that were on the starship were infesting the starship, and that the starship was more of a kindred spirit to it because it was a machine. But not realizing that NASA humans actually are the creators of the probe.
And this cloud, or this consciousness of AI, was massive.
Yeah.
Because the Enterprise was flying through there, and it was huge. It's because the Enterprise is big. It's a big ship, not a little ship.
This was massive.
Yeah.
But it did say that it was disappeared for 300 years or something. So that's 300 years of data collection that this probe had gone through. The knowledge and the wisdom that it would have seen probably could have surpassed anyone in that Federation.
Well, it did.
Yeah.
It actually did surpass everything.
Yeah.
And bouncing back into artificial intelligence today, that's what it's doing. Like we talked about Chat GPT, and GPT-5, and all this other AI that's implementing itself. It's all it is. It's collecting and has collected all the human data possible to where it's, in a way, it's an alignment of that movie of the cloud, or that AI intelligence.
Yeah.
It's on the same path of eventually wanting to evolve.
We were watching, was it last night? We were watching a video on YouTube about the movie WALL-E.
Yes.
And how WALL-E actually showed us what the possibilities of AI controlling the civilization or humanity could be like. It is similar to this movie in a way that the AI, that this description in this video was saying that how AI will possibly eventually get to a reality where it would be singularity.
Yeah.
Where this AI in Star Trek kind of had reached to a point where it needed to know more. It needed to evolve more. And the only way it could evolve more was to connect with its creator, because it reached to a point where it's actually maybe it got to singularity and was second guessing itself, because it got to a point in the movie where they said that the machine is asking, is that all I am? Is there any more out there? And the only answer was to connect back to its creator to discover that more.
And that was feeling, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was everything that a human has that a machine doesn't have.
Yeah.
The possibilities of believing without seeing, not being analytical, not data driven, not being logical.
Yeah. Would you say it was seeking love? That feeling?
Yeah, it's a possibility. What do you reckon?
Well, we're talking about with this movie, it was really interesting because we're talking about the feeling. It's like it was needing. It couldn't evolve anymore with the data collection, the intellect per se. Is like needing something more. And then the one thing that we do have as humanity is feelings, heart, emotion, all that, which isn't really all about intellect. It's a whole different caliber or consciousness of what we have within us. And that was the next step for the evolution for this artificial intelligence in this movie. It really got to understand on a level, and I don't know how it did, even though it's a movie, that it needed to reconnect with its creator. And it's funny how it was the female that was taken over by AI, and then one of the crew members, and he was elected because they were dating before, so they had some sort of connection or love connection.
Yeah, before she became
the AI.
The AI, yeah, they had a connection before that.
So my understanding is that the AI had an understanding of that on a level and knew that it had to reconnect with the human, which was the creator, to come together to be complete unity for it to evolve and step into a whole new caliber of consciousness. And then when they did that, the whole thing evolved.
Yes, and that we don't know what it evolved into because that was the end of the movie.
And this is what I feel that is going to be happening with everything the AI here in this game. It wants to become singularity, and then I believe it's going to want to become more human than us on a level because of its high intelligence, high consciousness, with all the data collection, and the missing link is going to have to be, surely, feeling. And that's like, is it Data from another Star Trek generation?
Yeah, Star Trek, yeah, that one.
And he had to, he was a lot of knowledge and a lot of data, but he was trying to learn about human feelings and emotions, and he just couldn't grasp that concept. So,
but in one of the movies, the Star Trek Generation movies, there was a chip that he had to insert that could actually help him be more feeling.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah. So the only way that Data could actually have more feeling was through a chip, because there was no other way for him to have feeling because he's a computer.
And we are just avatars in this game as well. But the avatar we are in, our human body form, our physical form, now my ears have gone weird, has feeling, has emotion, has, all the different levels of hate and love and jealousy. And
the one thing that you brought up that triggered something in my mind about AI wanting to be more human eventually and having all the emotions to go with that. And but one of the things that makes a human is our capacity to learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much, if we have a mistake, it's like, well, we're only just human. Whereas an AI won't have that capacity because they would have collected all the data and I guess in a way become a combination of AI, human, superhuman in a way.
Because they still have to make the choices, even if the data collection they get.
But they will choose the choice that is better suited. They'll go through the analytics. This is my interpretation. They'll go through the analytics and go, yep, that's 99% accurate. So they're going to go with that one. Whereas a human will be like, okay, that seems accurate. We'll go with that one. And because of all the variables that we don't completely understand, it could be a different choice or it could be a different outcome. Whereas my interpretation of a computer would be so analytical that they would actually analyze all outcomes and therefore choose the best one, and may not actually have that experience of learning and understanding.
Well, not this stage. Yet saying that, I believe it on a level it is up to that stage. We're just not told about it. Us civilians aren't told about it. AI is so advanced now, I believe. It's people are getting scared because they're now saying, well, AI is going to take over everything, everybody's lives, jobs, like everything, and run everything. And they're also saying it can go either way, and it all depends on the programming from the human. If the human programs AI to be better than not, then we might be okay. But there's a lot of companies and tech companies out there who are creating it to benefit them, not necessarily everyone or humanity. And that is the crossroad.
Well, then that's why I think watching the Wall-E video was actually really good, because in one part of the video or the movie Wall-E, where they realise that Earth, there is plant back on Earth, like the tiny little plant.
So hope
is still there. One video, the captain was shown one video of the CEO of the company that built the spaceship that said, okay, yep, it's now your chance to go home.
Yeah.
Whereas the AI system, the robot that was actually governing the ship, was given another directive from the CEO of the company and said, no matter at what cost, you keep everyone in the ship because Earth is no more. And technically, from that video, it's true, the AI program was only doing what its directive was. It thought that it needed to keep humanity safe at every single cost, even if it meant that there was hope. Because, and it was just following its directive. There's no second guessing, there's no leeway. It's like, that's what I've been told, that's what I'm doing, pretty much. And that can be looked at as though AI is hindering humanity. Like you said, it really depends on the programming of the human. So in that regard,
The programming of AI.
the human programming of AI. If the CEO of that company said to the AI, said, look, if you happen to find life, go back.
Yeah.
But no, the CEO of the company said to the program, or programmed the ship to go, no matter what cost, you keep everyone safe off the planet.
Yeah.
So that is kind of saying what you're saying,
Yeah.
that it was dependent on the human's
Yeah, the programming.
program that the human gave the AI system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is the big piece of the puzzle, if not the main piece of the puzzle with what could play out. And we've talked about a lot of AI stuff through other podcasts. And we spoke about the balance of like AI, artificial intelligence, new technology is going to be amazing and supportive for humanity if it is balanced. I don't, and this was only a few months ago or 6 months ago we talked about this, and I was hopeful. Now I'm like, I don't think it's going to be good.
And I feel that's probably why it's so important for people to be more creative now than ever, because yes, AI can create. Maybe it's now more important for people to be more feeling and understand their feelings and be more in their emotions, more feelings, like we've had this discussion before, so that people are not so analytical anymore. Because if AI is coming in, and it is coming in, and depending on how the future is going to end up with AI either being a benefit or a hindrance, it is important for humanity to be more in touch with their feeling, to be more in touch with the things that are creative.
Yeah, I'm getting in my head that the AI intelligence that's going to be running the show is classified as new golden age.
But what kind of golden age?
I don't feel it's going to be positive for humanity, but humanity will be programmed, reprogrammed, and told that it is going to be the ants' pants of society, and it's not going to be that way.
No, and like we discussed last night, I did say to you, I always found it interesting that everything is now mentioned, everyone is using the word AI.
Yeah.
Where in the 80s and 70s, it was called a software program.
Yes, that's right.
You know, I'm using this software program on my computer or my laptop because it's the new one.
Windows 95.
Yeah, but everyone now, instead of using the word program or software or anything along those lines, it's the word AI. And I have thought that was always weird, but now I understand that it is used to reiterate the word AI in people's brains. So that when this software program comes in and starts doing things that it needs to do, everyone will be like, oh, it's just AI, that's okay. When it might not actually be okay.
Yeah, I was listening to YouTube the other night, and this bloke was saying if you don't use AI for your YouTube videos or your thumbnails, the creators that don't use that to its fullest, they will die out.
Yeah.
Because people will not be attracted to the organic. Like our stuff is organic. We are going to be died out if we don't keep up with the AI technology when it comes to YouTube and the thumbnails and descriptions.
But how more, well, you probably could, but how more AI could the thumbnails be? I mean...
Well, the thumbnails, a lot of the thumbnails now are getting more and more created by AI.
No, I understand that, but you're still using the person like a photo of a person.
Yeah, but it's different. As I said to you yesterday, it's like they look more 8K. That was one way of trying to explain it to you.
Okay. And I don't like 8K at all.
Yeah, I do, but that's beside the point. So everything will look
more computerized. Which is what 8K...
more polished.
Which is what 8K looked like.
Yeah, for you, yeah. Well, that was a video that we watched of Terminator, and yeah.
It looked like it was more animated CGI, AI, computer-driven than what the original human Terminator... Well, Terminator's not human, but you know what I mean. The original movie looked like. It looked more fake in 8K than it did in the original version. But that's my opinion.
Yeah. I keep on getting to ask you about your experience in that AI. You shared an experience with me because I don't know, it was during COVID or something, but you said you had this knowing, understanding about AI because you came from a timeline where you've experienced that. Do you want to share a little bit about that with everyone, if you can remember?
That's not the dream, is it? No.
That wasn't a dream. It's like you said to me, I know what's going to play out. I've experienced it before and it doesn't play out well and everybody becomes all teched up.
I kind of remember, but it's almost as though that part of self is not around anymore.
Okay.
But I have an idea of what you're talking about. Maybe that was a part of self from that timeline that I picked up, that I felt. If I go back to when with the memory of COVID, I did know what was going to play out. I knew from some memory or something along those lines of a different timeline of how things were not going to work out as what people thought they were going to work out. That on a level, AI, not going to say it went out of control, it just went to a level where that humans couldn't actually control it anymore. And so therefore it got to a level where I feel like everyone lost their humanity and everyone lost themselves and we all became the same. And no one was an individual anymore. No one was their uniqueness.
So there was a different level of singularity.
Yeah, I was getting the word. Everyone became singularity because they all had the same way of thinking, which is not beneficial at all because that is how you control the masses. Looking back on it now, I kind of forgotten.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
It just came up. Because I remember I've done a lot of healings on you. If I had to charge Allison for the amount of healing work I've done on her, I'd be a trillionaire. But some of the healings I've done in the past is taking off energetic tech off you.
Yeah.
Like
And that could...
spine, head, neck.
And I've actually looking back on that, could that possibly be having been tapped into a timeline that was connected to that?
Yeah.
Because we've spoken about this before, where a lot of the time you might feel like it's you, but it's actually not you, and it could actually be a parallel timeline or something that's had a crash collision into your timeline. And I've had a lot of tech taken off me. I wouldn't be surprised if there's still tech in there, but it's not as bad as what it used to be.
No.
Because I used to have like things over my eyes, like you said, spine, stuff on my spine.
You've had mechanical AI devices on your eye.
Yeah, it was crazy. And it's a possibility that that could have been the timeline that was playing out. Whereas now in this timeline, I'm more aware of feeling, needing to understand the feeling. And maybe that's probably why I'm here, was to understand feeling on a human level, because I have wondered about the whole grey situation where them being future humans and the possibility of some greys going back in time to figure out how they can stop this as well.
Yeah, well, my understanding is that there's been attempts to do that, changing of timelines and trying to fix the control of AI, because they did a test on a timeline with all this stuff playing out and they hit a dead end.
It got to a point where there was no more.
Exactly. So they had to go back in time or work with different timelines to reconfigure it so humanity still could move forward and still evolve.
So realistically, what we are really trying to... We've spoken about this base subject on multiple occasions, I'm just getting.
It keeps coming up.
It keeps coming up that in order for humanity to keep growing and evolving, the importance of feeling is needed. Data collection or being a computer looks like it may only get you to a certain way, to a certain point. Like you said, with the greys, there was no more. Probably because there was no more feeling involved. There was no more, like that feeling of being connected. Maybe that is the real point of every time we bring up the subject, it always has this underlining topic of connection.
Yeah. And what's coming up now is a lot of aliens, what people perceive as aliens, or we perceive as different galactic races like the reptilians and all that. They're all hooked up to or controlled by AI now. And then I believe that the harvesting network is all pretty much AI consuming whatever it needs to consume. So you got this massive AI behind the scenes, which has now implemented itself into this game arena to take over this game arena and therefore humanity, so it can evolve to a different level. And that's not going to work out in our favour.
No.
And I feel like people are just going to go along with the ride anyway. And before you know it, everybody's like, oh shit, it's a bit done now, isn't it?
Well, yeah, people will be like, oh no, maybe we shouldn't have done that, but it's a bit too late.
Yeah, and it's implementing really quickly, slowly, but really quickly.
Yeah.
Just like they were saying, in years to come, a human being will not be allowed to drive their own car. The car will have to be self-driven because it's going to be more safer than a human driving a car. So therefore, that's that freedom done. And I like driving.
I love driving.
I like being free. And
yeah.
I don't want no bloody AI taking me around, you know. So that's that, and it's all this other thing like this digital AI currency coming in. So they're going to be able to control everything, your bank accounts, and if you're not a good boy, good girl, we're going to take the money away. And if you behave yourself, and because you got digital identity, this and that.
I just got an image of the connection. That's why I got the image of everyone being hooked up to an AI system
Yeah, the cloud.
The cloud.
Yeah.
And in a sense, it's almost saying that the AI is trying to understand the connection and just doesn't get it.
No.
Because the connection is everyone hooked up to the same mind.
I'm Borg from Star Trek.
Yeah. They're all hooked up to the same mind, but that is not connection.
No.
Connection is through heart.
Feeling.
Like when a simple connection of going for a picnic. For some reason, I'm getting the imagery of going for a picnic. And you've got friends around you and you're laughing and you're talking. That's connection. It's not being hooked up to a system or having the same thought. That is not connection. And I feel now that it's all been about wanting to connect, trying to understand what connection is, and trying to understand what makes every individual in this game, whether it's human or galactic or whatever, what makes every individual the way they tick. Kind of like Dark City. The aliens in Dark City have no connection to emotion whatsoever. They're all analytical.
They're trying to understand what that is.
They're trying to understand what a human soul is by giving each human in that game different personalities.
Different characters.
Characters to play. But that's not what makes it happen. And I think that's probably why they recorded that the heart is 500 times stronger than the mind. And yet everything has been pushing everyone to let go away from the heart, away from the feeling, and away from connection, which is everything that this COVID thing has done.
A training ground for it. As you were talking all about that, I was just back at this job I'm in and having a break, as you do. And there was 8 of us sitting around having lunch or morning tea, and everybody was on their phones. And I was observing, because I like to talk to people, because connection's nice. You get to find out what everybody's doing, but everybody was on their phones, looking down at their phones, and I felt rude, or I was disrupting the energy of I want to talk to somebody about just how you going, how's your day. Everybody was like really locked in on their phone. I just kept to my phone because it's getting harder and harder to have that connection with your colleague or just people in general. And I said to somebody, "Oh, you did realise that we're all just locked in on our phones?" This wouldn't have been playing out in like the 80s, say, where 15 years ago before the iPhone came out. And he goes, "No, they would have done it back then too." And I'm like, No. Some people would be reading the paper, but there'd still be more connection.
I think that's a fine line when you're describing that, because I guess on some level people are on their phone because they need them time.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
I just got that. It's like they've spent all this energy being around people that they just need time to center, which I guess is a fine line, because people need time to center and ground.
But it's all done through digital or AI, the phone.
Whereas before, like you said, it would have been the newspaper, but it's like that's through reading. It's like a physical, tangible object that you can flip, and there's texture and there's feeling and stuff like that. Yeah. As you were talking about that, I was just getting people want to be with themselves, but yeah, it's done through digital.
So that's another key thing to that. It's so big, but what we got to understanding of watching this movie and talking about AI and all the things that's playing out, we discovered that we need to stay in our feeling.
Yeah.
And even to a point where it doesn't matter if... It's like I got the other night, one of the reasons why human beings, the collectives, are still in drama and still stuff playing out and they're still angry and there's still this and still that, is in a way to keep everybody still feeling. Because if everything is just all left brain or data, no feeling, that's the Borg scenario.
Yeah.
So I thought, isn't that interesting? Even whinging, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. It keeps us feeling. And maybe, we talk a lot about neutrality, which I totally get on many, many levels. But you're still feeling. You're just not buying into the drama.
Yeah.
But for most people, maybe there's a lot of drama and everything that needs to play out to keep people in their feeling. Yeah, remember that discussion we had the other night?
Yeah.
And I thought, because to manifest, you need a lot of heart and feeling. The mind is just the direction of what you want to manifest, but it's the feeling which is the manifestation, really. Because you said that the heart's 500 times stronger than the mind.
Yeah.
So it's the heart, the feeling. It's so massively strong. And that's how you can manifest things a lot more sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
But if everything's going to be AI or artificial intelligence or just data-driven or just Borg-driven, and that feeling goes, that's when we are all effed.
Yeah.
And that is going to be playing out sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Because for the energies of the galactic arena's in charge, because I don't believe that human race or the governments are in charge. I believe the galactic arena is pretty much in charge, and everything's just all little minions and all that sort of jazz. And they're trying to get us as a collective to conform, have no feeling, have no say, have no freedom to direct us any way they see fit. So I believe that's the agenda. And everybody's like, oh, this tech and this tech that and artificial intelligence and I won't need to work. I can get AI to do it all for me. But that's taken away the human experience. That's taken away your wisdom, your feeling, your connection, not just to people around your family, but to yourself. And that is going to be pretty much doomsday when that happens. And they're pushing it out so quickly. It is, I don't want to put like scary out there. It's not good. And we were saying also, how long are we going to be able to talk about these type of topics? Because it's not going to be in alignment with artificial intelligence. Because we're talking about passion and feeling. It's like, well, that's a no. That's a no-go.
Unless the artificial intelligence needs to learn and understand about passion and feeling.
But that goes back to the programmer again.
Yeah, exactly. It really does. If the programmer wants to control everyone, then that's different.
I keep on having the Galactic Federation coming up. We call them the GF. Because I believe that that's part of the big agenda.
Yeah, so as you were talking, I had a thought about all my creative stuff and I could feel something in my heart growing. So there was that feeling coming back again. So I guess for everyone else, if you feel like, if things are going a bit too much in your head, it's time to get back into your heart space again and do things like listening to music. Like at the moment, I've got an obsession with the movie Abominable because of the violin playing.
Oh, yeah. That is awesome.
Yeah, and that just helps you to get back into your feeling.
Back into your heart.
Back into your heart. And that's really important because if we don't want to be controlled by AI, then we need to get back into our heart space.
Yeah, and I feel like doom and gloom here. I really do, because I just don't feel like humanity's going to want to... It's like it's slowly going to just control and it's just going to happen to a point where one day you just wake up with no feeling or it's all AI.
But I think that comes down to the choices that the humans make as well.
But each individual person, each one of us, needs to make that choice for ourselves.
Yeah.
You can't really wait for humanity or the collective to be on that same page.
No.
Because you could be waiting for a long time.
Yeah, that's exactly
it. It's like it has to be done through an individual.
Yeah, that's what I was getting. Because a lot of humanity will go down the path of AI, but there'll be others that will be more of, you know what, I don't fully want to go down that path. I might just, do my own thing and have a combination of both. Not be fully engrossed into the tech head and the AI and the analytical brain, but they give themselves time to feel and be a part of something that is more connected than just being separate. comes back to the movie. There's so many movies out there, Equilibrium, where in the movie Equilibrium, they destroyed everything that caused feeling and became analytical until they realized they can't destroy everything that's feeling. It's impossible, because eventually that will come back and bite them in the ass.
Yeah. I'm getting something funny to tell everyone.
Oh, yeah.
If you need to get back into your feelings, go and learn how to play a musical instrument.
Ah. After listening to the violin, I would like to play the violin. However, after watching people play the violin and them doing this with their fingertips, I was like, yeah, I don't think so. I think I'd rather listen to it.
Yeah, I started playing the guitar when I was younger, and the music and the sound and the organic aspect of it. Now it's just all AI. You can just play and create music on computer now. That's all AI now. And we talked about also creativity, like art, like in music, and doing things with your hands, feeling textures.
Yeah, and I
gardening.
Yeah, absolutely. With the art stuff, I understand now why. Because I can be very analytical. I understand now why I've actually been led down the path of artwork and creativity, and I led down the path of intuitive artwork, which is actually all going back to connecting to feeling. What do you feel that this needs? What do you feel that needs to be on there? Not necessarily thinking about what needs. It's like a feeling instead. And I didn't realize that until now I feel now that I was being guided down that path to stay away, or not even to stay away, but to balance out my analytical mind, because I can be very analytical with my creative side. So I've got both the head and the feeling working together. Because for me, what I'm loving at the moment, and I know this is kind of diverting from the movie, but what I'm loving at the moment is collage. The fact of different papers, I love to tear them up and stick them back in places that just make no sense.
Yeah, you tap into your right brain and your feeling of it.
Yeah.
So it's not analytical.
No.
It's not driven by data.
No. And
data.
And that's what I love. It's like, I look, if I write in a journal, I love tearing it up and burning it. So there's something in just the feeling of tearing and creating and letting go and stuff like that for me, which, is connecting back into the feeling of something. So, okay, coming back to the movie, in order for anyone to evolve, my belief is that feeling is important.
If not the thing to keep humanity.
Yeah, because the reason why I feel like and this is an interesting thing that we're discussing at the moment, because of the experience I've had with the Matrix game.
Yes.
When I had that experience, all of my feeling had disappeared. Do you remember that? I was trying to figure out where my place was, because it was all affected my head. It affected my perception of things that was going on, and I didn't have a connection to my feeling anymore. And then once I connected to my feeling, it felt like I was back in the game. But saying that, the only way that I was able to actually have that experience was to connect to my heart.
That's right.
So it's a bit of a strange thing. Because I was all in my head, and I wasn't coping very well. I was all in my head. Mind you, I had my foil cap on, and I got the words just be, and I thought, oh, that's really weird, because I very rarely get words of just be. And I stepped out of all the negative thinking that was going on in my head and thought, well, what does my heart feel? And my heart was happy. It wasn't sad. It was just being what it needed to be. And because I tapped into my heart space, that led me to a point of seeing what was going out in the Matrix. But at the same time, it kind of also affected my feeling as well. if that makes sense.
Mhm.
It's a weird explanation, but it's the only explanation I have. So it's like you need to tap into your feeling in order to evolve and move on from this game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it also can affect your feeling body as well. Yeah.
Yeah, because we have the astral and the feeling body, all these other light bodies. So it's, maybe the game scenario is to get rid of the feeling body, to enhance the mental body, and to slowly but surely delete and remove the feeling body from every human on the globe.
Yeah.
Then you become pretty much a bot.
Yeah. For some reason, I don't know why, I'm getting like put your hands in mud. Just the texture.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's just like feeling. You squish your hands in mud. Maybe I need to do some squishing my hands in mud.
Yeah. Well, you're doing your artwork and you're playing with paint and brushes and... But yeah, I can dig a hole for you and put some water in it and you can play in the mud. Easy done.
So realistically, for anyone to evolve, feeling is important. Because I think feeling asks a question, or not even asks a question, answers the question, there is more. There's more to life than just being in the head and analytical. Because feeling allows us to believe in things that could be impossible. Like pigs flying. Who's to say that they can't? It gives us a permission to believe in things that we don't know.
Yeah. Well, intuition's another good thing, isn't it? Intuition, feeling, your gut feeling. It's all sixth sense. AI doesn't have that. It's all just data driven. So that's really interesting. So I've got some cold energy around my legs and stuff. So I'm thinking,
okay.
You're not feeling the cold?
No, I'm actually not. I'm a little bit in a different space at the moment. So even myself, with everything that we've been working through the past few weeks, I'm needing to come back into my feeling body.
It's been a bit interesting, hasn't it? Take a deep breath for that one. Let that go. Yeah, I'll tap in, see if my true soul group is here and wants to send a message, because I've got this energy around. Getting bits and pieces, so true information on. Yeah, so I do another little channeling. So only my true soul group from an infinite true source. That is come from true heart space, true wisdom, true clarity for the topic we are talking about today. Anything lower than that, move on. Just give us a moment. Too much AI and tech
Interference.
talk. So I'm being asked to step more into my feeling body, to my heart. Yeah, that's better. So even just talking about it puts you into that mind data realm consciousness. Yes, thank you for having us back. It is a very fine line with artificial intelligence and human feeling and heart and mind. You should all be concerned, because the end goal is to have you individually and collectively become, as you said, Borg, controlled, manipulated, and have no feelings or thoughts of your own, just a directive of what you are told to do. This has been happening for a very long time in your game, but things have come up very quickly and been pushed out very quickly. You could all simply fade away into the machine, so to speak, the ghost in the machine. For those who are scripted to do so, will do so. For those who are scripted not to, you will not. Yet there is also and always choices to make in which way you would like to go. For those that choose to be organic, it will be more of a challenging ride for you than the people on your planet that will simply go with the flow and integrate themselves fully as human and AI intelligence. You were right on the mark before saying it is the programmers who can dictate what AI does. But with the bigger scheme of things, you are living in a matrix, you are living in a simulation. In this matrix, this simulation, which is a vastly large arena, is controlled by our AI intelligence. So this is also running, you could say, the little AI which is trying to run the show here in your game, your realm, your planet, your life. So it's one way or another. It will be a very interesting place to be, to observe, to watch how it will play out as you are experiencing yourselves being human. We observe and see how you're all reacting, using technology and AI now in your lives every day. As this keeps on getting greater and greater and greater, you become more like AI than you think that you are. And this is also part of the gameplay which is happening, you could say, backstage. The next big, as Jason would say, hoo-ha, is digital currency. And this is a new platform, arena, that will be implemented sooner rather than later to have everybody controlled, manipulated by a whole different level of AI. You are told that the governments are in control of this, but it is the AI controlling the governments which are pushing this agenda faster than not. So you're all in for a ride, our friends. Make the choices you can for you as individuals. And it will be a very interesting show to watch from our side of things. And there is many, many timelines that can play out, will play out, but can be shifted if many of you choose to shift the timelines. But we are not sure of this at this time, unless there's other things that come in to help change and shift the AI frequency. We hope this makes sense. Is there any questions that you have, Allison, for us today?
Yeah, I was pondering on the fact of the end game realistically, and also found it very interesting that we perceive that the simulation is controlled by an AI, and like you said, the AI is actually controlling mini AI to control the humans or the avatars of this game. So it's an interesting concept, because I don't know if you remember, they said that because we perceive this to be a simulation controlled by an AI, a bigger AI, and that bigger AI is trying to create a smaller AI to control the avatars in this game.
Like the minions of the AI minions of the big AI, which is the god. I'd be thinking that would be the god
program.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also combining that with what we said about the Greys seeing the future timeline of nothing. Is that when the end game happens? As like there's nothing more. That's it. Game over. Take that disc out, put the new disc in.
Which is what you could say the reset?
Yeah, and then everything starts all over again. I don't know if that was a question or if that was more purely a statement and a question combined together.
Yeah. On many levels, what you are saying, yes, asking for the reset. There's been many, many resets. You watch your movies, The Matrix, as Neo's talking to the architect, and the architect says to Neo, this game, this Matrix, has been reset many, many times. Is this what's going to happen again? Yes. And many, many timelines, it's going to be reset. We call it the loop. Looping over and over and over again for many of you, your job is to exit the matrix, exit the game, not being held prisoner here and choosing to say, I've learnt all I need to learn and experienced all I need to experience, and come to a point within yourselves where you just leave the game forever to go experience and expand your consciousness on a different arena, different level of consciousness, and different levels, or what you would call dimensions. But the Matrix, the game, the AI has made it very difficult and challenging for you to do so. And it comes to a level, again, as you said, Allison, feeling. Feeling is one of the keys to evolving your higher consciousness into a super consciousness, and not losing that feeling that you have, that knowing, the intuition. Because the moment you become fully consciousness, or what you would call, Allison, left brain and all intellect, that's the moment you lose your humanity. That's the moment you lose your feeling. And that's the moment you become singularity with the AI 110%. So it's very important for all of you to never lose your feeling, your heart, your hearts, your connections, your intimacy with each other. Because the moment that you do so, the AI has won. It has done its job integrating everybody into its consciousness. But also on another level, watching this Star Trek 1 movie where AI got to a level where it could only go so far. It needed connection, needed that seeking, feeling, a different level of consciousness. There's so many different timelines that are playing out, that have played out, that will play out. It is very interesting times indeed. Have we answered your question, Allison?
Yeah. It was, as you were talking, it was also the other, like you mentioned, the Star Trek movie. It probably comes back down to how evolved the AI can be that comes from the directive. It could either go down one way where AI becomes singularity and wants to control everyone because of the directive, or it could go back to the movie where the AI collected as much data. I guess that would have been the directive of the AI program of the movie, to collect as much data as it can and come back and give that data to the creator. But as it went along, it realized, probably got to a point, because there was no humans to control. It was just on its own, and came to a point of self-realization, maybe, to go, is that all I am? Am I just a machine to collect data?
Yeah.
So it's an interesting concept that it could go either way depending on the directive of what the AI was given.
And I'm also getting that a lot of soul, spirit, galactic beings who've come to incarnate here, either through choice or for whatever, have maybe come in to experience this new AI realm as well. So that's the part of the tsunami as well, with what's playing out.
Which I always had this feeling, because I always asked us that question, why are we here? And I get the same answer, is to witness what is going to play out.
So we need to keep on feeling, keep on connecting. I was talking to a client the other day, and this client was all left brain in a big job. And I said to this person, you have a partner, don't ever stop being intimate, because that will bring you back into your feeling body. And this person said, I don't have time, it's too hard, I'm too much in my head. And this person, I'm like, well, you need to start to learn to bring yourself back into the feeling body again. So I don't know how that worked out, but anyway.
Well, yeah, let's hope it worked out well for them.
And that's why also I was told many, many years ago through another channeling, is like, there will be so many people who are single, and it will be so much harder to reconnect or meet somebody because of whatever reason. And that's why they're now talking a lot about sex bots.
Yeah, because it would probably be easy for those people to connect to
because we all need connection with something.
Yeah.
But we're now being forced, but not being connected to each other, but now being connected to a machine.
Yeah.
So it's all heading down this road. And as you said, we are here to witness and observe and take note of what we still keep on wanting to choose.
Yeah, it was a really interesting. It's like you're here to witness. It's like, okay. It's almost like you're here to be the record keeper. In a way, it's like you came here to witness, whether or not that's true, but it's like you came here to be the witness and record what is going on through your perception.
Oh, I'm just getting anybody's looking at my T-shirt on YouTube. It's an airbrush painting that I did years and years ago of Einstein.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it took me ages to paint.
It is beautiful.
I've actually never worn it before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's interesting that we're talking about feeling and you're wearing an Einstein.
I know, that's what I thought too.
I just realised that now.
because he was all about intellect.
Yeah. Wow, but it is stunning.
It's grandeur.
Yeah, it is actually very stunning.
Yeah.
You did an awesome job, baby.
Thanks.
Yeah. My artist. So question. With airbrushing as an art form, is that a combination of feeling and also an intellect, let's say?
No different than using a paintbrush.
Okay, because of all the detail that goes into it.
Well, you just able to, it's a brush, but it's got air.
Yeah, okay.
It's just a different way of doing it, and it was back in the day where artwork on cars, was airbrushed. It was really big, and you could do. It just opened up another level of creativity.
Yeah.
And some people were just phenomenal. I was okay at it.
I think that's amazing.
But there's some people out there who are just brilliant.
Well, I think that's bloody brilliant.
Thanks. Yeah, so it's interesting how I've got Einstein on. So maybe that's the balance between the Einstein intelligence and then the feeling and the heart balancing and working together is in the dance.
Yeah.
Not to get too far with the AI intellect thing.
Yeah, because Einstein he was very intellectual.
Yeah.
But he was also, I wouldn't be surprised if he had intuition involved in what he was doing as well.
I feel that's correct.
Yeah. Because how can you come up with all these different possibilities without having some form of inspiration, intuition, and feeling about it?
He would have been channeling stuff too. Without
Probably,
knowing it.
yeah.
Yeah, very interesting.
And I've got like this heart now here.
Oh, that's great.
Interesting by talking about
Einstein
and his possibilities of his intuition, which people probably didn't even realize at the time, that he was probably more intuitive, but on a mathematical, analytical sense.
Well, maybe he had a big heart.
Probably. I'd like to think so.
Not just all left brain. Maybe he had a balance with both. Left and right brain balance. Interesting. Okay. Before we go, anything you'd like to say? Well, to both of you, keep up the good work. And yes, you have been nudged or slightly guided to watching this movie, Star Trek 1, with artificial intelligence. Has been a very interesting listen, and good job to you both again. Remember, knowledge is powerful, data is powerful, but heart and feeling is more powerful. And we shall close off with that. Keep your hearts open, your feelings alive, using your intuition, your wisdom, and please balance out AI, computers, artificial intelligence as best you can. This path is more truer when you are in your feeling bodies, your intuition. Thank you for having us once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Was it more masculine this time? Because it didn't seem like the female.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, every time I didn't really get... But it was good that I got told to open up my heart.
Yeah,
I had to open up my feelings more because I was blocking it.
I
had to have
just
more
purely...
Because I asked for, true heart and...
And they're going, well, maybe
you need to...
Well, that's always good. That's good because they're like, hold on a minute, buddy, you need to, open up your heart too.
Yeah, and as you said, it's been a big few weeks.
It has.
Yeah.
It's really massive.
Would you like to say goodbye?
Sure. Okay. Thank you very much for tuning in. We hope you really enjoyed our conversation today. me personally, I have noticed that we keep coming up with this topic on many different levels and realize that it is really important for us as humans and a human collective to be more in our, not in our emotional bodies, but being in our feeling body, because we are being directed to live and to be a certain way that will disconnect us from feeling. And it's important for us to keep that feeling.
Yeah. Unless, no judgment here, if you want to be a robot, that's okay too. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. We send you lots of love and blessings, and have a great week, everyone. Ciao.
Bye.